called my insurance and found out there were 2 facilities that I could go to, one of which had an outpatient program and which I could see a psychiatrist within 24 hours. And normally the wait time is 6 to 8 weeks or longer. So I knew that's what I wanted to do. I called my OB back. We got some medication for the weekend so that I could sleep through the weekend. And my husband was home with us with the children. And so that I could just kind of lay low and have all my symptoms and panic attacks and sleep and not worry about the kids for the weekend. My evaluation ended up on a Tuesday because of the Labor Day weekend. I later found out that I could have just walked into the facility at any time, which I wish I would have done during the weekend when I was having a really bad time. But I did go to the facility for an evaluation for their day treatment program, and I decided at that intake that I wanted to be voluntarily hospitalized because I felt like I couldn't go home and parent my children. And so I had, fortunately, very good insurance coverage at 100%, and so I voluntarily hospitalized myself for 5 days and saw a psychiatrist within 24 hours who put me on the right medication, and I've been working with the psychiatrist ever since. And I also knew the importance of having a therapist, being one myself, so I lined that up quickly. And after that, I did do the day treatment program for about 3 weeks and learned about depression and some coping skills, things that I knew in my practice, but that I was being clouded in my judgment in my personal life. And so it was a good experience to be in that group. It wasn't geared for postpartum at all. It was a depression group, and mainly bipolar diagnoses were in there, but the information was helpful nonetheless. And so after I did that, in the meantime, I had gotten a full-time sitter for my son, and my husband was taking him to the sitter before he went to work and picking him up after work, so I wasn't having very much contact with the baby, just in the evenings a little bit here and there when I felt comfortable. But my husband was mainly doing the caregiving, and my daughter was in school, so I didn't have to worry about that, and my older son was in school as well. And so I just spent most of my days at the day program, and then after that I still kept my sitter in place and just did a lot of self-care and trying to figure out how to make it through and waiting for the medication to kick in. We kind of tried a couple different combinations to get the right amount and the right dosages, and were able to finally find that and start stabilizing. I was able to scale back the hours that my son was at the sitter and start picking him up myself or taking him myself, eventually to the point where now I have him 3 days a week full-time, except for when I'm at work. I work part-time 3 days a week as well, and so he's at the sitter for those days. But I still see my psychiatrist, and I just had my year mark anniversary of when I went into the hospital, and it's been a long journey, but it's been well worth it. I've been able to receive some training in the field of postpartum depression and anxiety and help other mothers who are suffering, and to be able to be aware of it and identify it and not be embarrassed or ashamed, and to know that it's not their fault and that it's treatable. And so I feel about 95% back to my regular self, and hopefully in the next couple months I'll be back to 100% and we'll be done with this part of my journey.